Did you know that Deceive Inc is at it again? They've given us some more updates and things to look forward to. We have a hotfix update basically with quite a few balance changes and, you know, just a few tweaks and all that kind of stuff. So let's get straight into the updates. All right, so work in progress May hotfix changelog. This is from yesterday, at the time of reading this anyway. Agents, we are expecting to release the May hotfix in the coming days as indicated on the updated development priorities roadmap. The following is a work in progress of that changelog, so please keep in mind that it is subject to change, with items being added or removed before its official release in the days ahead. So general changes. Performance, work and stability, so that's, you know, self-explanatory. They're working on how the game performs. I know that a lot of people get FPS drops on certain, or frame drops on certain maps and certain areas and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's good that they're working on the optimization for the game. Continued work on optimization for better performance on a wide variety of hardware. We have more of this coming along in the next patches, so this is mostly an iterative step on the goal of better performance on every platform. That's good. Weapon sound tweak. So this is an issue that I feel like people have had since the game's release, to be fair. Sometimes you hear people shooting, you don't know if it's above, you don't know if it's below. You might think it's above, you go up and then you realize that it's another 2 floors above you, and yeah, it's just a little bit weird. I guess they just need to work on the audio, but I'm sure it's better than, you know, other battle royales, Apex, so, you know, it's at least we have some audio. Weapon sound tweaks. Adjustments to weapon sounds have been made all around. Guards' weapons were audible from way too far compared to most spies, leading to easy pinpointing of far away enemies. Overall, spies with the loudest weapons have been tuned down slightly to make the difference in audible range less of a huge gap between all spies. Key card visual changes. Changes to the key card VFX to make them easier to pass for colorblind players and bring the security rank iconography in the VFX itself. Okay, that's good. Anything to help the colorblind people or people that can't see properly, that's good. Not properly, but, you know, let's not get political now. You know what I'm trying to say. Please. All right, server side changes. We've been actively making adjustments to player spawns behind the scene since the Steam free weekend. We are still monitoring. So yeah, this is another thing that people, I feel like you don't really hear people complaining about this as much anymore, to be fair. So whatever changes that they have made behind the scenes, I feel like they've done well. I know before, back in the day, like a few weeks ago, you can literally spawn like 2 steps away from someone. It didn't make any sense, but now they fixed it, or they're fixing it. So yeah, this is a nice little change. We are still monitoring player start locations that are too close for comfort, but are confident that the situation is getting much better. We will continue to update them live in between patches, so please keep the reports coming if you experience an unfair spawn. Additionally, work has been going into matchmaking to resolve issues with launch queue time and reduce matchmaking time overall. We are making good progress on that front, and some of that progress is already in the game right now. So yeah, that's, you know, matchmaking changes and stuff like that is always good. Nobody wants to be waiting 4 or 5, you know, minutes for a match. So the lower it can be, the quicker we can get into the match and do damage, the better. All right, so yeah, I know that we have quite a few balance changes. I've already skimmed over all of these changes, but, you know, we're taking a proper look at it now. So status effects. We are starting this update with changes to 2 status effects. Let's dive into the details. So resistance, I believe only red has it. I think does Squire have it on his third passive? I feel like he does. But Red and what's his name? CHAVEZ definitely have resistance. I don't think Squire has it. He has a type of resistance, but it's a bit different. I don't think it's a percentage reduction. It's literally he just keeps his cover for a little bit extra longer. Resistant has been the subject of such discussion in balanced talks around CHAVEZ. The arrival of Red only magnifying this, and it's clear that this effect is too big of a differential in combat. As such, we are lowering the damage mitigation it offers by 20%. Damage reduction has been lowered from 60% to 40%, so this is obviously going to make Red and CHAVEZ a lot less tanky. For example, someone like Yumi's tier 3 weapon, you can headshot for 100 if you charge it. Instead of doing, before it would do what, 40 damage, I guess? Let's say to a CHAVEZ, if CHAVEZ has his resistance up and Yumi headshots him with a charged weapon free slingshot, it would do 40 damage. Now that it's being reduced from 60% to 40%, that headshot is now going to do 60 damage. So it is definitely a significant change. We'll see, just how much the babies are crying about this change. I'm a CHAVEZ main, so yeah, I'm biased. But yeah, I feel like it's a good change. He is very strong in 1v1s, and he kind of just wins. Not every 1v1, but if you get two players of equal skill, 9 times out of 10, I feel like CHAVEZ is probably, CHAVEZ is probably going to win because he does a lot of damage and he's just tanky. He doesn't take damage either. So this is a good place to start. And I know that he's got more nerfs coming further down as well. So we'll see if they've over nerfed him or whatever. Anyway, Heartbreak. Red's charm ability is an interesting one. While the charm side of things is acting as intended, the penalty for breaking that charm yourself is currently too low, making shooting almost always the best course of action. On top of this, the 25% value made almost no difference in actual shot to kill calculations for Red's arsenal, leading it to being an underwhelming ability. While this might seem like a big jump in theory, in practice this effect requires a lot of setup and voluntary action from the victim, making it much harder to pull off than Ace's version of the vulnerable status effect. We'll monitor the effect this has on Red's game plan. So before, when you kiss your enemy with Red, you neutralize them, they can't use their ability, you slow them. If they break it, then they become, if they break their cover, then they become, vulnerable. Before, it would be damage multiplier 25% extra vulnerable. Now they're gonna make it 35% extra vulnerable. So it's a jump of 10%. We'll see just how big of a difference that will make. Yeah. Agents balance. Let's scroll up a little bit so you lot can see what I'm seeing. Red definitely made some waves with her arrival. Now that the dust is settled, we have a clearer picture of where she stands. Our current stance is as follows. Red is extremely strong in a single, very specific build and pretty middle of the pack in all others. With this update, we are toning down slightly her strongest configuration, leaning on the resistance status effect with her expertise mod 1, and making headway into making other aspects of her build more competitive. Weapons. The Jack of Heart is the uncontested champion of Red's arsenal currently. We are toning down uncontested champion? Really? Oh, yeah, so that's her second weapon. Okay. We are turning down his fire rate extremely slightly, but mostly buffing her base weapon to be more competitive. We are also making a slight adjustment to her shotgun to fit the new Heartbreak effect damage better. So, yeah, her first weapon has gone from 8 damage per hit to 9 damage per hit, and her fire rate has gone from 5.75 to 6 as well. So that's, you know, it's every little counts in these kind of games. You've only got 100 health, so even just upping the damage by 1 and, you know, fixing the fire rate by 0.25, it makes, you know, it makes this a little bit of a difference. And then her second weapon, Jack of Heart, the fire rate has been decreased slightly by 0.1, yeah, so it's gone from 2 to 1.9. And I feel like her second weapon is definitely by far the most popular weapon. Only noobs are going to be using the first weapon. So once, I don't know, it just feels so weak, like you got to hit them 200 times. But I guess they've buffed it a little bit, and they've nerfed her second gun a little tiny bit as well. So we'll see just how much of a difference it makes. And then her shotgun, Love Bite, damage has gone from 40 to 38 if all your pellets hit. And they've also decreased the fire rate from 1 to 0.95 as well. So a decrease of 0.05. All right, on to the next. We'll see how that affects red. Passive. This is really the central part of making red feeling too strong. Reducing the duration of the buff after recovering, coupled with the change to resistant itself, should make red less of a tank and stay more like a well-timed damage mitigation if someone decides to attack you right after spending your expertise. So yeah, this is the thing that it made her basically a vanguard. Like, it didn't really make sense. She's meant to be a scoundrel, so yeah, it's just a little bit weird that they've given her so much resistance. But obviously they're trying to, you know, turn down the tanky side of her and, you know, make her more of an actual scoundrel, because I don't think people use her like a scoundrel. Rarely. Most people are using her for the damage mitigation. They're playing her like a CHAVEZ, like a squire, you know. So her base passive makeover, reduced resistant duration from 4 seconds to 2.5. So that's another thing as well. So she would get her cover back. When she gets her cover back, she basically takes less damage. But doing that for 4 seconds, it was just too much. So yeah, they put it down to 2.5. That's nearly, you know, 50% reduction. I feel like this is a good change. She's still going to be tanky, but, you know, at least it's not for 10 minutes after breaking your cover and all that kind of stuff. Cavalier. Our recent nerfs to Cavalier did a great job of tuning down her oppressiveness, maybe too much. We are tuning some elements back up to her kit and keeping a close watch on how she performs for future tweaks. Weapons, we are giving back a bit of ammo to CHAVEZ Dragoons to allow her to spray away a bit more with her base option before reloading. So I think it was 18 before. Cavalier's first weapon was 18. They reduced it to 14, so now they're putting it back to 16. So it's a little bit up and down. I guess they're trying to see what feels good for Cavalier. I feel like, I don't know how popular she is, to be fair, but I do feel like she is kind of popular. I don't know if it's because she can kick people or what, but yeah, she does. She's not as popular as Larson, but she is still quite popular, in my opinion anyway. She's definitely more popular than characters like maybe Ace, Hands, Yumi. I know people are starting to learn how to use Hands nowadays, but yeah, generally speaking, I do think she is still quite popular. Expertise. We recently fixed a bug that made some Cavalier clues stay active for longer than intended. By fixing this, we discovered that the base duration for Cavalier's investigation is a bit too tight for comfort, making it less useful than it should be. Base investigation, valid clue times. What does this mean? Does this valid clues time? I'm gonna assume that's how long you can. That's how long you can take notes on something after they've already dealt with it. I'm gonna assume not dealt with it. So after someone has interacted with something, for example, someone's taken 2 intel from a computer. I'm assuming this means that you can take evidence from it up to 1 minute later. I'm assuming, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Who knows? Anyway, CHAVEZ. CHAVEZ is strong, very strong currently. His base weapon lacks a clear use case against his 2 mods, and the resistant status effects has made him a very tough agent to contend with. We are tweaking his weapon mods to make them less of a direct upgrade to the base and more of side grades to his playstyle. Okay. We'll keep monitoring CHAVEZ closely to see how he performs in the future. So yeah, his second weapon, they've reduced the fire rate by quite a bit. 0.3 they've reduced it by, from 2.2 to 1.9. The damage, I know it's only 0.5 difference, so they've reduced the damage from 22.5 to 22. I know that's only 0.5, but when you get to, let's say, health that's like, I don't know, if someone has like 112 health, for example, these tiny little differences is going to make a difference, because in, let's say, 5 shots, you're going to be doing like 110 damage. 110? Yeah, in 5 shots. Oh, am I gonna have to get out the calculator? Oh, flips it. I can't be able to get out the calculator. But anyway, it's gonna make a difference in, you know, certain cases. The limb multiplier, they've given it a buff for some reason. I guess because they're nerfing it in other areas. They're like, yeah, we don't want to nerf him too much. We still want people to use him. Let's give him a little buff for people that are hitting your legs or whatever. And mod 2, his third weapon, the best gun in the game, Duke. This is my favorite gun. Fire rate has been reduced from 0.85 to 0.75. So this gun, it already shoots quite slow already. I'm sure it's one of the slowest shooting guns in the game, probably along with like Ace and Yumi. But yeah, I guess being able to 2-hit people with this gun, maybe it's a bit too strong. So they've decided to reduce the fire rate a little bit, which I guess may be fair. Maybe I'm biased. Like I said, I'm a CHAVEZ main. I love me some CHAVEZ. So yeah, we'll see just how badly these nerfs hurt CHAVEZ. He's not going to be as tanky. He's not going to be shooting as quickly. He's not going to be doing as much damage. Unless you're hitting... Actually, no. Yeah, you're not going to be doing as much damage. So, yeah, there is... He's taken quite a few hits. I'm sure he'll still be fine. Just not as strong as he used to be. Okay. Madame Shu. Madame Shu has been under the radar for a bit. In this update, we are giving her a healthy buff to her fighting prowess to give her more of a chance against the rest of the cast. Weapons. So her base weapon, they've reduced her fire rate a little bit from 5.75 to 5.5, but they've actually increased her damage from 9 to 10. So before, you would have to hit people at least 11 times, assuming they have 100 health. You have to hit them, wait, no, not even 11 times, 12 times. Is it 12 times? I don't even know. It depends on the headshot multiplier, I guess. But basically, you have to hit people too many times. So yeah, I guess them upping her damage, you have to hit them less times. First weapon, which is the burst fire, I believe. mod 1 Longshan. So they've increased the damage from 10 per shot. So yeah, it's the 3-shot burst crossbow that she has. They've increased it from 10 per shot, which is 30 total if you hit all 3 shots, to 12 per shot and 36 damage total if you hit all 3 shots, which is a good change. It's a nice little buff. For like most people use her base weapon, but they're saying that she's been under the radar, so I'm assuming that their stats are telling them that people aren't really playing her much, and maybe her win rate isn't good enough. So yeah, they're making her a little bit more of a fighter. And to be fair, past expertise is you literally need NPCs around you, otherwise you're kinda just, in a fight anyway, you're literally just useless. If you're not using a E2 and you've already put on someone before you get into a fight, then if you get into a fight in a room that nobody's in, no NPCs are in, then you haven't got anyone to teleport to, so you're just there as Madame Shu, just hitting people for 3 damage, and obviously that's a exaggeration, but you know what I'm trying to say. Anyway, Squire, in the spirit of diminishing the overall impact of damage reduction on gameplay, we are slightly lowering the window in which Squire is resistant to damage after a cover blow with the Aegis cover passive. So yeah, they've reduced Squire's resistant thing as well. Mod 2 Aegis cover. Okay, Larson is doing extremely well with his recent changes, and we won't be making major changes to his overall kit. Okay, what are they doing? Cadence is currently an underwhelming option in Larson's weapon stable, and we hope to make it a more appealing choice with these tweaks. To be fair, I usually use this weapon, so maybe it's like I've been using his weakest weapon all this time. Delay between bursts 0.4 to 0.35. Okay, so he's basically gonna shoot quicker, and his damage has gone from 10 per shot, 20 total, has this a burst of 2, to 12 per shot, which is 24 per total, which is good, decent. Okay, and they've also nerfed his second expertise, and this has been a talking point for a lot of people that come up against Larson. Most people already hate Larson, and this was just giving people even more ammo to, hate on him. Basically, with his second expertise that basically no one really uses, apart from the people that probably know this little trick that you could do. You could put your smoke circle down and you can jump up. If you keep on jumping, you would briefly for a split second come out of your invis. Obviously when you're invis, you can't shoot or you can't really do anything apart from open doors, but if you jump, you briefly come out of it for a split second, which would allow you to shoot the enemy. And I feel like it was either impossible or just basically impossible to shoot the Larson for that brief second that he becomes seeable. So he would just be jumping up and down in a smoke circle, shooting you, can't shoot him back, and it's like there wasn't really much counterplay apart from just running away. So yeah, this one might be a bit unpopular. Well, yeah, it's definitely going to be unpopular with the people that used it. But we really like the creativity of the strategy of jumping to peek out of Larson's smoke bomb. We had to come to the conclusion that its widespread use is negatively affecting gameplay. We are looking at a rework of how this ability works in the future to allow this kind of creative strategy in a more balanced manner. But in the meantime, we have to make the call to raise the zone's height. So yeah, they've increased the height of the smoke circle, invis circle, so you can't do that jump in, shooting stuff. So yeah, that's a bit of a nerf to people that use Larson in that way. Hands, did we hear buff Hands? Hands has been doing much better according to our analytics since the release of Misery Empire. We are still making a bit more tweaks to get him in a better place with more variety of weapon choices. Weapons. Currently, hands-based weapon is his worst option. We are buffing his fire rate to make it more reliable and less punitive on partial hits. For the jab, we are toning down the headshot multiplier in ADS, as his firing speed could lead to a very oppressive melted speeds on out of cover spies. We are also giving the uppercuts ADS more of a precision weapon identity with chunkier headshots. Okay. ADS more of a precision weapon. Okay, alright. So, yeah, his base weapon, they've increased the fire rate a tiny bit. And his second weapon, they've ADS crit. Is ADS crit multiplier? So what is that? Is that headshots or? Yeah. Why don't they just call it headshot multiplier? I'm confused. Or ADS headshot multiplier. Anyway, so yeah, they've made his second weapon weaker, and they've actually buffed his last weapon. Okay, that's kind of crazy. So people are probably gonna be trying to ADS a little bit more of his last weapon now. Anyway, hands is OP. Yumi, after a long session of lo-fi beat study, Yumi has gathered newfound strength. We are giving her a bit more versatility in close range fights, adjustments to her healing bubble, and a sizable buff to the booby trap passive to enable all new playstyles. So weapons, with her charge speeds a bit longer than before, they've decided to up her damage. Yumi's been having trouble in frantic fights. We are giving her more damage on uncharged shots, but also buffing her charged shot on her base weapon to make it more competitive. So yeah, base weapon, if you just got buffs up to it from 20 to 22 uncharged, and if you charge it, it's gone from 30 to 33. Long shot. Uncharged, this is a third weapon. Uncharged, it used to do 15 apparently, then 18 if you charge it. I mean, no, 8, it's gone to 18 now, uncharged, so that's the difference of 3. Expertise, a minor tweak to damage dealt by the EMP bubble on impact makes it a slightly better engagement tool to start a fight. You're also making the delay before healing kicks back in the healing bubble shorter to make it more reliable in a pinch. EMP blast and EMP flock. Bubble projectile damage if shot directly at an enemy has gone from 12.5 to 15. And the healing bubble, reducing time before being able to heal again after taking damage by 30%. So, again, after taking damage, reducing time before being able to heal again. So I didn't even realize that they added, so if you get hit, you're not still healing. I didn't even realize that, but yeah, I guess that is something that they nerfed about her, and they're reducing that time to heal again now by 30%. Anyway, passive Booby Trap was always an appealing ability in theory, but underwhelming in practice. We are expanding all aspects of the bubbles left by the ability to make it a potent blocker to agents chasing you, and a versatile tool to create bubbles by destroying your own gadgets. The size of bubbles created when gadgets are destroyed is larger and lasts longer. Gadget balance. While we are looking for, okay, so yeah, the size of bubbles created, I never really see people purposely breaking, or Yumi's breaking their bubbles to use this. So yeah, it's good that they're making, you know, the bubble thing that your gadgets leave behind bigger and make it last longer. We'll see if people actually, you know, make a bit more use of it. Right, gadget balance. So I already know, yeah, umbrella shield. It seems like that's the only thing they've literally changed. So that just shows you, it was, I know the FPS sweats are gonna be a bit sad, or not even FPS sweats, but the people that use shield, they might be a bit sad about it, but we have to be honest, it was too much. It was too much, man. This pick up shield, drop it, pick up shield, drop it. It was too much. So it seems like they've turned it down. We'll go into how they've turned it down in a second. While we are looking for more wide-ranging changes to gadgets balances, this hotfix is not the place for it. We are focusing on reining the umbrella for now. Umbrella shield. The shield has been quite oppressive when in the hands of highly skilled players. Yeah, FPS threats. And while we want it to remain a strong option, it's a bit too strong currently. The tweaks we are making here are probably not the full solution to tweaking the shield. We'll probably need to make deeper changes to how it works in the future. But we still wanted to make smaller changes in the short term to make it a bit more manageable. So they've reduced the HP from 150 to 100. So yeah, that's one thing as well. It's like you gotta shoot it like 200 times to break it. So reducing the HP to 100, that's a nice little change. Deployed shield duration changed from 30 seconds to 20 seconds. I don't feel like, was anyone deploying? I mean, I don't know if anyone was deploying a shield for 30 seconds, but anyway, they've nerfed that as well. Deployed shield pickup time no longer affected by hack speed power up. So I don't know if this was intended before, but apparently your hacking speed affects how quickly you pick up stuff and do everything, even if it's not a hacking thing, even if it's just picking up stuff. So yeah, I guess this will be a good change. Deployed shield pickups time raised slightly to make it a bit more of a commitment. So yeah, picking up your shield, if it's being deployed, is going to take a little bit longer. So you can't just be spamming the whole drop pick up. It's too much. You guys, you FPS sweats, you're too much. You're doing too much, please. And then we have some bug fixes as well. Fix the bug that allowed the use of the sprint button in mid-air. So yeah, some bug fixes, nothing too major in my opinion. Bug fixes to characters. Yumi's BB trap ability no longer pauses her bubble cooldown when activated. Yumi's cooldown now starts when her bubble is finished. Fixed an issue leading to Yumi's slingshot getting stuck in charge animation when chaining multiple quick shots. Red. Fixed clipping issues on her skins. And yeah, Madame Shu fixed the mastery skin having a twisted wrist. That's funny. Ace adjusted animation transitions on ADS to cover idols for Ace. Oh. Level Silver Reef fixed collision in Silver Reef, allowing a peak at a vault terminal. Okay. Fragrant Shore fixed collision issue on Fragrant Shore small trees that would block players and shots. So yeah, that is quite an important one. You don't want to be shooting someone and the trees that aren't actually blocking, like you're shooting someone but because you're next to a tree, it's like it's hitting an invisible tree kind of thing. I know I've heard people talking about that. Fixed multiple issues allowing players to clip into walls. You guys are cheaters. You guys exploit everything. Hard sell. Fixed collision issue in hard sell auction hall, allowing to see through the roof of a drone. You guys are cheaters, man. How do you guys find out everything? Diamond Spire fixed windows disappearing in Diamond Spire vault room at certain settings. Alright, and the general fixes fixed an issue that caused the NPC of a player that used the bounce mat in the past to visibly jump in mid-air when appearing in another player's line of sight. This is a huge one as well, because especially if it's a security guard as well that suddenly jump in the air, and then you might see like a little jiggle or a zigzag, their run isn't perfectly NPC-ish, and you're just gonna be like, yeah, this is a person, this is a player. So this is a good fix. Fixed what? Half lit. Okay. Fixed interacts that were not supposed to be affected by the increased hack speed power up, leading to instant interacts. So yeah, I was talking about this earlier. But better handling of NPCs bumping into doors they do not have access to. So yeah, this is, even though it's not like a huge one, it's quite an important one, because it's like when you saw NPCs, you know, doing that thing where they bang their head against the purple doors, it's like, oh yeah, that's definitely an NPC, because players don't do that kind of stuff. So yeah, we'll see exactly how the NPCs handle these purple doors now. Fix multiple clipping issues on a variety of NPCs. Yeah, there's certain spots where you just literally see a clump of NPCs just standing in the same place, or they can't like move from where they are. They're just literally standing there, or they're just walking in the same spot. So these are some good changes, man. Fix an issue that caused NPCs to slide around stuck in a social interaction. Okay, yeah, I've definitely seen NPCs sliding around. Fixed an issue where players' names would be replaced by W when leaving a team match. Okay. Fixed agent eyes appearing as transparent on player portrait at low setting. Fixed NPC animation stuttering when traced from afar away. What? Fixed calling card previews appearing at low resolution in catalog. Fixed ink preview reflections looking different from in-game menu. Fixed players being able to open loot briefcases while wait, what? Fixed players open loot briefcases, leading to missing the opening on match start. Okay, that's odd. Fixed last since catalog skin not working properly with items in hand while in game. Fixed hands expertise projectile being visible through rules. Yeah, so this is another thing as well. I know that the audio sometimes isn't good, but this one will literally tell you, oh, hands is like there, because you literally see it go through the wall. So yeah, this is a good fix for the hands players, even though hands is OP. So maybe they should have kept that in the game just for balancing reasons. Fixed an issue that led to cover accelerator power-up having additive effect when a player was resurrected. So yeah, apparently people are getting instant cover. I barely use the cover accelerator, and especially in teams as well. So I personally haven't witnessed this, but yeah, I'm hearing that some of you cheaters are getting your cover back instantly, so this one was for you guys. Fixed umbrella shield not keeping damages from allies when grabbed and redeployed, leading it to be full health. Okay. Fixed stuttering caused by changing cover due to social interactions refreshing. Fixed issues with goo pod VFX not replicating correctly in some situations. Fixed for scrambler breaking intel visual. This one is flipping annoying. Even though it's not game breaking, it's flipping annoying. I mean, technically it doesn't tell you the amount of intel that you're gonna get, so this is kind of a big one. It's kind of a big one. Fix, and so I don't even know the civilian names, to be honest, but yeah, Anne has been fixed. Variation having a neck broken in most animations. What? I ain't seen no civilians with broken necks. Who's Anne? Ah, flip's sake. Fix field upgrades. Chest disappearing when opened at a certain distance. I don't think I've seen this one either, unless I'm just not paying attention. Anyway, once this fix reaches agents in the wild, we'll be talking more about what to expect in the mid-season update. Oh, can't wait. Such as details on the change in heat system, which we all are looking forward to, because right now the heat system is basically non-existent. It's just there for decoration, really. We'll kick this off with another developer Q&A stream shortly after this update is released. I do a lot of Deceive Inc content, updates, gameplay, tips and tricks. I'm gonna put, you know, tips and tricks and all that kind of stuff somewhere here. Make sure you subscribe as well. I'd appreciate it. But yeah, we've got a lot to look forward to. A lot of balance changes. This is quite a big set of changes, and yeah, it's looking like it's gonna be good. I didn't even make a video about the roadmap changes as well, to be fair. But yeah, I'm sure you've all looked at the roadmap already. But if you haven't, let's just quickly look at bugs and balancing hotfix. So yeah, that's what we're getting now, or that's what this video was about. Performance checks, matchmaking refinements. So I'm wondering if that means, are they adding SBMM? Are we gonna have skill-based matchmaking now, or are we just gonna have level 300s against level 1s in the same lobby and they're just slapping up everyone? Fixes to major game impacting issues. I'm wondering if that's what we just spoke about, because I can't think what other major gameplay impacting issues are there that they didn't mention in the fixes. So the mid-season update, we're gonna get heat system 2.0. VIPs are raising their security. I'm wondering what that means. VIPs, I'm wondering if that means, like, let's say you shoot a VIP, are they gonna have like a special force, like a SWAT team coming to beat you up? I'm wondering if that's what it means. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. What do you think VIPs are raising their security? What could that possibly mean? New agent selection menu, including weapon stats. So that's nice as well. Because at the moment, I know they done really well, but if you know, then you know. But Az and Sods, the two that made the weapon stats spreadsheet, you know, we appreciate you, but we don't want to be, you know, opening up a Excel sheet to flip in. You just want to go boom, oh, this agent does this much damage, that agent does that much damage. You know, you don't want to be having to, oh, where's that spreadsheet, where's my bookmarks, kind of thing. New dossiers menu, don't know what that means. Balance work is always going to be ongoing, so I mean, they're just putting that there for decoration to make it look like they're doing extra work that they're already going to do anyway. New prismatic and obscure inks to acquire with credits. Okay, so new inks as well. But yeah, the big one, private lobbies. We need a date, please, we need a date. And if it's going to be for creators only, make sure you give me that as well, because I need to run some customs. It's going to be fun. Kill cam is going to be interesting as well. People are going to see how ratty I am with Larson and how much of a disgusting human I am. It's going to be good. And how I wait for third parties. People are going to hate me. Private lobbies will be very involved tasks that will take some time. Team is working. So yeah, it's not sounding like it's going to be too soon. But, you know, I'm glad that they're working on it. They want to make a version of it as soon as possible. So that's telling me that we're gonna have customs, but they're gonna add something different, something creative to it. Maybe like you can only use this character, or I don't know. But yeah, we'll see what they mean by that. A new agent's contract is being drafted, so they've already got a new contract in the works. I mean, a new agent in the works, and an out of this world operation is afoot. So I think people are already speculating that this means we're going to be in space. We're going to be flying in space, or we're going to be on a space map, which is interesting as well. But yeah, the mid-season update is in June. So yeah, we got that to look forward to. Street Fighter 6 is out in June as well. So yeah, that's two fun things to look forward to. But yeah, that's it from me. Deceive Inc. Make sure you subscribe, like the video. Let me know what you think about these updates, the balance changes, everything. Just everything. But yeah, until next time, do what makes you happy. Peace.